I know some of you out there are asking like, why now? Why neural futures? This is another podcast. We've got enough people talking on the internet. And, I agree with you. There's a lot of people talking on the internet. However, few people are having conversations. This is not going to be the platform where we're just talking at you. Like I said, this is going to be a limited time edition where I'm just introducing you to the platform. But for now, the why, hey, 2025 and beyond will define how nations, communities, companies, and overall people just navigate a few different spaces that I really think that you should really consider. And when we start looking at some of the topics that really shape some of my thinking, us as a team here, what we're thinking about, and when you start looking at the direct impact of lists that we've been generating, things like, AI regulation and national security, like what does that look like? What if one of you out there comes up with a dope idea, super amazing, and you build it from scratch? Nobody knows, it's under the radar. You're an idealist. You start tinkering because information's out there. You can build things yourself, and it may cross national security. Something to think about. Digital equity and access. Like, what does that look like? We do have challenges when it comes down to infrastructure. We do have challenges when it comes down to people having equal access to a high-speed internet to be able to get to these basically cloud and SaaS products. So while everyone else has, an ability to be able to have high-speed internet, which is a baseline, right? And being able to have tools like a laptop that can take half the data points that we're trying to process. Like, what does that data equity and access just look like? Also, climate tech. There's a lot of things with climate tech and, infrastructure modernization. Right now, I can tell you that the backbone part of our internet still has a lot of legacy systems in there. And I can't wait to have some conversations with some of the people that are doing that work in the background that makes it seamless. Even though, you start seeing networks start to go down on certain coasts. I always chalk it up to us maybe upgrading the network versus there being a cyber attack, but also data ownership, and surveillance capitalism. And it's like, those are things that you probably should be thinking about. And so coming into this new age, when you start talking about Web3, you start talking about blockchain, you start talking about AI. But when you start talking about data ownership, data sovereignty, like being able to own your own image, being able to own your own work, being able to own your own files, being able to own your own shopping history, being able, all the things that people are saying that people data mine, you should be able to own it. And if they're going to sell it, you should get a percentage. And so those are some of the conversations that we would love to have, that we can't wait to have, to really engage and challenge, the people that were future-proofing their businesses and they're in the game right now, but also how the rest of us are catching up. And so now it's like, okay, you were good for a while, but now I understand now. And now you should probably compensate me for some of my data. And then, you start talking about automation. Listen, automation and job creation, or in some cases, job destruction or job deletion. That's a very common topic. I think before things kind of got to where everybody's panicking about people losing all these different jobs, companies always had rifts that were timed, depending on the market, depending on what their goals were as a company. But now people are starting to have the AI talk on top of that, which is, with companies getting AI, companies are doing a strategy that's a little counter to what I would consider the best way forward, which is they're operating more lean and they're getting more bang for their buck leveraging AI. I would argue being able to operate 10 times as much at a larger scale by not getting rid of people and being able to make AI as a force multiplier and being able to say, hey, this one person can do the work of 10 people. And so if you have 15, 20,000 people, then you do the math. Then that company should be that much more impactful and be able to kind of, go at scale. So now the ceiling that they have, they're trying to meet by having less people. I'm saying I challenge companies to push through the ceiling, go past impact and product larger than they've ever been before, and just push the envelope. Now, for you economists out there, I would love to hear you on a platform and challenge that. What do the numbers look like? But that's one thing about a visionary like myself. I'm always willing to challenge the status quo, but also, from a fact-based standpoint, but also understand that facts are things that we were able to get done. And being able to be a visionary and a disruptor and a person that innovates, you see the potential of being able to kind of push past what we know the ceiling is. And absolutely excited to be able to have those types of conversations, because nobody's right, nobody's wrong. The person that's the most right is the person, to me, that's crazy enough, that's daring enough to push the narrative and be able to do the work and push past the ceiling. So thank you.